Hello and welcome back. I am Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports and WeBuyGuns.com in Westfield, Indiana, and you are watching Marksman TV. Welcome back to another gun store vlog. Before getting into this, I wanted to make a quick announcement. For those of you who are not aware of the channel 2AEDU, it is a really good channel where he does firearms reviews as well as a Friday night live stream where he talks about firearm related legislation and politics, some things that we all need to keep our eye on and be aware of. And he does a really good job of sort of bringing a bunch of people into the conversation and discussing the sorts of issues that are going on and how we as a gun community can come together and work to resolve those issues or work together to fight different types of legislation that might be coming down through the pipeline. Now, he is actually going to be in my store this Saturday evening, the 27th, and we're going to be filming my next weekly used gun review together as a collaboration. And he's going to bring along 4 of his firearms, and I'm going to have 4 of mine that have come through the store, and we're going to do a sort of co-op weekly used gun review, which I'm really excited about. So I know he's got some cool stuff he's bringing along, and we're trying to keep it as a cool mix of different stuff that is out there on the market, as always, keeping in spirit with the videos. Now, to go along with his live streams, which I do personally enjoy, I'm actually going to be joining him on a live stream, which he's going to be doing from my store here again on Saturday the 27th, and it's going to be really in the format of a hangout, sort of a casual Q&A. So we'll be on for a couple hours. If you want to swing by, ask any questions, just chat, anything like that. So I'm really excited about that. Again, that is coming up this Saturday the 27th. The live stream should be going off at about 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I will leave an update or some reminders of that on my community tab as we get a little bit closer. In this video, I wanted to give some supply updates of stuff going on inside the market. Of course, we've launched our new website and that continues to go really well. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. As well as I want to talk about the new supply of inventory that's coming in, some things that are changing on the current new firearms market with firearms and ammunition. So if that sounds interesting to you, please stick around. That's coming up now. Okay guys, so I actually, first of all, I got a new camera, which you guys are watching on right now, EOS M50, the Canon. The old camera I had, I actually got from my parents back when I just started filming YouTube videos. It's just something that, you know, was a little bit better quality. It's an old Canon Rebel 5. And I had dropped it a couple times and the autofocus just was awful, as a lot of you guys complained about it in several of my videos. So I finally broke down and got a brand new camera of my own so I can give that one back to them. And after, you know, I go about destroying it. So yeah, that's what kids are for. Mine will do it to me someday too. But anyway, hopefully now the quality of these videos, including the weekly used gun review videos, will be better. The reason I picked it up is because it has the highest rating for autofocus, which I am very dependent on as I'm bringing stuff close and far away from camera all the time. It's difficult for me to set the focus as I don't have a camera operator to let me know when things are in or out of focus. So anyway, new camera there for the channel. I'm very happy about it. Okay, next thing I want to talk about, and it's small enough I can actually do this whole vlogging thing and I don't have to carry it around on a tripod, but the website is still continuing to go very well. This is another shipment of boxes that came in today. As of right now, it's been about 2.5 weeks. I have completed 95 transactions on the site. So thank you guys, thank you so much. Right now I am logging in a used Gen 4 Glock Model 20 in 10mm, which are kind of hard to come by, from somebody on the blog. There's a really cool one in that big box, so I'll open that and show you guys. But yeah, here on the system, I don't want to show anybody's information, but this is my user panel. This is 95 completed entries on the system. So really happy about how all this is going. Thank you guys so much for putting through a bunch of offers. I think I've probably done about 300 or 400 offers. Hopefully, you know, again, some of you guys are running out and getting offers on your stuff. This is some of the inventory. I've had a lot of stuff. I've had the used guns come all the way down to this case. Everything's always been just in that case. Now it's all kind of migrating all the way down. Everything along the bottom there is all used. And it's mostly stuff coming in from the website. Again, about 100 firearms in 3 weeks. Typically we get in about, through the store, and that doesn't count what we've gotten through the store. Typically through the store we get about 10 to 15 used firearms in a week. That would be a really good week. Some weeks it's less than that. So a typical 3-week period might be about 30 guns, and we've done an additional 100 on the site. So we've a little bit more than tripled our intake. That's just got that in too. If you are a viewer, you will recognize it. Really, really nice. A payment just went out today. That's from the site as well. That's an Ithaca Model 51. That just came in from the site. So basically everything in my inventory is coming through the site, which is really, really good success rate. That Versamax is from the site. Surplus guns people brought in. Yeah, there's just some of the stuff that we've gotten. Just really, really, really cool. So to summarize on everything that's been coming in off of my website, I am really, really happy with how everything is going. Now we're upwards of over 100 approved offers or pending offers that have at least been completed or are on the way. I've just got a couple more in, even since the ones that you guys just saw. So as you guys have seen on my weekly used gun review videos, I'm getting really high quality stuff. So that's really improving the types of firearm selection I'm having on those videos. I am very limited on time with how busy I am getting everything in, logged in, keeping in communication with the people selling us stuff to make sure that that goes as streamlined as possible. So as time frees up, again, we're in a hiring phase. So as I try and get some people in here, I'm going to try and do a few more of those weekly used gun review videos. If not, put a little bit more firearms in each one, or do one, like maybe every other week, do two instead of one, just to keep those coming out, because I know a lot of you guys really enjoy them. As of right now, I'm so busy, I'm actually now filming those videos on Saturday nights after my store closes, and every other night during the week I'm staying late to make sure that all that inventory gets in, gets logged, and the previous owners of those get paid and everything like that. So I'm definitely incredibly busy. It's definitely doubled up on my workload, as I am bringing in probably on a 3-to-1 ratio more firearms through the website than I am actually physically in my store. Now, to go along with that, let's talk about the supply. As far as used guns go, if I discount the website, of course, obviously we're going to bring in more from that as we're in a national market now. If I'm just looking at the local market, it is obvious and apparent to me that the used market is definitely picking up. And that's something that I had predicted last year. I did a couple of videos on this topic, thinking that 2021 was going to be a big year for used firearm sales. And I think that there's a few reasons for that. As we've noticed politically, a lot of the end of the world type, the pandemic rhetoric and all of that has definitely calmed way down. I think a lot of that is for political reasons, as well as vaccines and stuff have come out. Cities are opening up. Now they're talking about closing some cities due to increased rates. I don't really, it's hard to keep any more on top of what's going on with all of that. But undoubtedly, I'm seeing a lot more of a calming down in the firearms market. A lot of my normal gun customers, like people who have been into this market for a long time, a lot of my repeat customers are tending to be the types of customers I'm dealing with more on a daily basis now. Last year, it had a lot more, I had a lot more new first-time buyers, and I'm not seeing as many new first-time buyers now. I am seeing some familiar faces of people who sold or bought stuff from us last year who are coming in and selling it to us, as of course, with everything calming down, they don't seem to see such a need for it. I would like to see those people stay in the firearms community, practice and train and all of that, but of course I know ammunition is definitely an issue, and that I'm seeing to start come back to, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But definitely, undoubtedly, the used firearm intake is definitely coming back. Now, some things to keep in mind for the future as the used firearm market does start bulking up, and again, it is something that I'm seeing. I am sure we're going to start seeing those prices on the used firearms come down. Previously, if you jump on Gunbroker and stuff like that, you could see a lot of those used firearms were selling abnormally high compared to the pre-pandemic market, and sometimes 2 times even the going rate of that same firearm new. I'm seeing some of those pricings starting to come back down. It's not down to what it was by any means, but I am starting to see sort of the downward trend of some of those prices on, I would say, more modern and commonly found firearms like Glocks and P320s and CZs and P10s and things like that. So there's definitely a slowdown on that market in terms of price, but an increase in that market in terms of volume. So just keep an eye out for that. Now, new inventory, let's talk about new firearms. I am absolutely getting a tremendous amount more used firearms than I used to. If I go back actually as late as February, this is interesting because through my suppliers, I actually only purchased in the entire month of February $3,000 worth of new firearm inventory, which is really, really low. Keep in mind, if you had a margin, let's just say of $500 on that $3,000, that's $500 a margin for an entire month of new inventory sales, which is very, very, very low. I had a talk with my supplier on that. They had then started towards about the end of February, started getting in a more sizable amount of firearms in. And now I get 2 to 3 calls from my one of my primary suppliers now, as new inventory is definitely bulking up. Now, when that comes to supply availability on their website, I still can't log in right now and find a whole plethora of different things that are available for sale. They are still selling things more on an allocation type basis. What that means is, of course, we as retailers have wholesale websites that we go to. And just like if you go to an online retailer like Palmetto or Buds, you can log in and see the inventory in stock with the price, add it to cart, check out. It's the same process we go through with our suppliers, obviously. Over the past year, if we log onto their site and select show only in stock items, maybe for handguns, at any given time, there would be like 2 to 3 handguns of their inventory of like 3,000 different items that would ever actually be available to just drop into a shopping cart and check out. What we have been dealing with is an allocation list, which is where when the firearms come into the wholesaler's inventory, they're allocated out to the sales reps, and then those sales reps actually call up each one of their customers and say, hey, this is a short list of 10 or 15 firearms we have in today. Which ones do you want? A couple boxes of ammunition, a couple magazines, and that's how we have been building orders. Now, I am still not seeing availability on the website to just jump on and do shopping of different stuff, which has made it hard to actually do special orders for people. People calling in and saying, hey, I want, a SIG 226 Legion, can you order one for me? The answer to that, by and large, is still no, because I can't just jump on and order stuff. But the allocation phone calls are coming in a lot more frequently, and the list of items on those calls is definitely expanding. So I'm getting in multiple shipments a week now of 5 to 10 firearms instead of like one shipment every 2 weeks of 3 firearms, which is what we were getting a few months ago. So undoubtedly the supply is definitely way picking up on the new inventory. And I suspect at this rate that by the end of the year, 2021, we'll probably more or less be back to a point where we can just jump on the website and order stuff. Again, as all this inventory starts coming in, the way the supply, the market works on this sort of stuff is as we start filling up, we will start denying or declining to purchase certain items that we might already have in stock if people aren't coming in and buying them as quickly as they had been. Now, with the stimulus checks and everything, there is still a healthy amount of sales that are going on, but as those funds get spent and, people get more comfortable with the fact that those firearms are becoming more available on the market, we'll see a slowdown of the purchasing, will also inevitably lead to a decreasing in the pricing. Just again, obviously, economics 101, how it's going to work. So again, I think at the rate it's going, by about the end of the year, we should see somewhat of a fair amount of normalcy on the used market. The new market. On top of that, with the used market really bulking up, that will help drive prices and prices down and supply up a little bit as well. Ammunition, I'm still not seeing a huge change in. Absolutely, we cannot just jump on and buy ammunition. My ammunition supply has gone up. I bought my first case of 9mm ammo last week. That's the first case quantity I have bought in about a year. Keep in mind, March of 2020 is when all of this started, so we've come to a full year now. I have now just bought my first full case of 9mm ammo. I got like half a case of 223. I got some 12 gauge buckshot and 12 gauge slugs. But again, not super high quantity. Of course, even though I had a limit on the highly desirable stuff like 9mm ammo, all of it was pretty much gone within a few hours, so people are still obviously out there trying to buy it as much as they can. Now, we had a price on 9mm as high as about $35 a box. I had a wholesale price of about $31 to $32 a box going back about 6 months ago. This most recent batch of 9mm, I was able to get it down to $25 a box. Of course, that's not what I want to see in terms of the pricing. It would be great to be back at $12, which is where we were a year ago. I don't see that happening anytime soon. In fact, I would be skeptical if the pricing ever goes back down that low. It might stabilize around the $15 to $17 mark from this point forward. The only reason I say that is because over previous supply shortages, we always see the price of ammunition tick up a couple bucks after supply returns. Remember, 9mm used to be about $9 to $10 prior to the 2013 shortage, and then after everything stabilized, it came up to about $12 to $13 a box. And then prior to the 2008 shortage, you could get a box of 50 rounds of target ammo for like $8 at Walmart, and then after that shortage had ended, it was up to about 10. So about after every single supply shortage, we do see the price sort of stabilize $2 to $3 above what it had previously been, even though the supply is back in. It's still a very good outlook in terms of supply coming up a little bit and pricing on the wholesale level dropping back down. Anyway, obviously the pricing is coming way down on the wholesale level, which is a really good sign. Hopefully we start to see a more abundance of ammunition. Again, I think it's going to take people sort of slowing down on the purchasing before that becomes really more stable and more available on the market. But as of right now, at least it's a sign in the right direction. So I'm just happy to see and report on that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you off with all of that. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this video. If you enjoyed, please let me know by hitting that like button. Please also consider subscribing to my channel so you are aware when we are posting new content. Also, hit that bell notification button. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you off there. I am Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana. You are watching Marksman TV, and I will see you next time.